We will look at Zelda, our 8 currency hedging robot. But before we can do that, we need to understand the concept of hedging. 4 things today: what is hedging, reasons for hedging, the types of hedges, and how do we size our hedge? How do we know how much to buy and sell? Okay, so the official definition I got from Wikipedia is a hedge is an investment position to offset. So a hedge is something to offset potential losses and gains by a companion investment. Take a second to try to understand that. If I were to break it down in simpler terms, basically we buy or sell something to counter the position of another trade, another asset, another product. There is perfect and imperfect hedging. For perfect hedging, we buy or sell something to counter the position of another completely. So maybe today I buy Euro USD, and then later I sell the same amount of Euro USD. So basically our position is as good as flat, meaning essentially we are holding no positions. An imperfect hedge is me buying something to counter another position to an extent, not completely. So imagine there are 2 tech stocks that are very similar. So I buy tech stock A and I short tech stock B. So they are not a perfect hedge. You will still be exposed to some kind of risk. That risk is represented by the difference between these 2 tech stocks. And we will look at imperfect hedging in the rest of the lecture. So we will not be talking about perfect hedges much. Let me just briefly go through it. Why do we do a perfect hedge? To lock in a position. Maybe you bought Apple stock on broker A, and right now broker A can't be accessed, and you want to sell your stock, but you can't because broker A is down. So you go to broker B and you short the same amount of Apple stock, thus you're flat. Second reason, to eliminate your market risk while gaining in some other ways. Say you own stocks of Walmart, for example, and you want the dividend payouts from Walmart, but you don't want to be exposed to the price movements of the Walmart stock. So what you can do is to short Walmart in some other ways. Hence, you'll be left with the dividend payouts. Although this may not be a very accurate example, because in most cases, by shorting, you need to pay the dividends to someone else. But this is a general idea of how it works. Usually cases like this are very, very customized. It's different from a case-by-case basis. We will not concern ourselves with perfect hedges. What we are interested in is imperfect hedges, and that is what Zelda is about. So reasons for hedging, for imperfect hedge. Note that from now on when I say hedging, I'm referring to imperfect hedge. So 2 reasons. 1, to hedge away certain market exposure, or you can think of it as to retain certain market exposure by hedging away other exposure. Number 2, to trade the relative value of 2 investment products. Alright, let's dive into it. We are going to use fruits as an example. Say right now, I'm a fruit store owner, for example. I think that prices of oranges will go up, but the price of orange seeds will go down. I don't want the seeds, I want an orange. But when I get the oranges, the seeds are in them. So what do? Hypothetically, in this world, what I can do is to buy the oranges first, along with the seeds inside them. And separately, I will short the total number of seeds that I have in my oranges. So therefore, my seeds exposure is neutralized, and I'm left with the exposure to the orange prices, which is what I want. Let's translate that to the stock market. So in this case, I think that the price of Apple stock will go up. But I think that the price of S&P will go down. I want Apple stock exposure, but I don't want market exposure. By market here, we are referring to the general market, which can be represented by S&P. Buying Apple stock will indirectly give me the general stock market exposure or S&P exposure, also known as beta exposure. There is a term used in finance. I know that this part may be new to some people. Why do buying Apple stock give me stock market exposure? When you look at the stocks in general, let's say the government issues a new policy that's detrimental to companies, the stock market as a whole will go down along with Apple. Therefore, there is some correlation between Apple stock and S&P. Thus, if you think Apple stock should do well, but the whole market might not, you might want to hedge away your market risk. Thus, I buy Apple stock at first, and separately, I short the total amount of S&P exposure in my Apple stock. Therefore, I'm left with exposure to Apple stock prices, and I'm not exposed to the general S&P market risk.